Welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have a great personality, a sales leader, and the co-author of a wonderful new book about the DNA of the worst salesperson. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks for having me. I've been in sales for my whole career, and my co-author, Jeff, is actually a comedy writer. And one day, after my wife was asking me, why don't you write a book? You've been doing this your whole life. So I was telling this to Jeff, my friend, and he said, I have a great idea. Why don't you do a book called Sales Prevention, How to Be the Worst Salesperson? And right away, I started cracking up and thought, hey, that's a great idea.
You started selling in a flea market. What did that kid in the flea market understand about human connection and selling to high-level executives?
I sold electronics at the flea market. As you said, my brother had a sales leads business and I worked with him, worked for some big New York ad agencies, buying media, managed marketing at NBC, and helped start a magazine. And then I went over to the sales side and some of these big media companies. And the things I learned from the flea market, working directly with folks, you really understand how to talk to people and basically, how to treat them the way you want to be treated.
What was your biggest sale ever?
It was probably to Ford. I got on a plane to Detroit and it was a lightning storm and we got hit by lightning. And all the power went out and the plane started doing a nosedive. We were all screaming and praying. And luckily it came back on. I got out of the plane. I got to Ford. I was soaking wet and it resulted in a multi-million-dollar sale.
Let's talk about the failure experiences that lead to success. Every salesperson has a habit of self-sabotage. What is an example from your experience or Jeff's experience where you became aware of that self-sabotage, eliminated it, and went on to do great things?
He thinks the most common mistakes salespeople make are act and talk like a salesperson. There's that old stereotype of the car salesman that everyone hates, dealing with those pushy, insincere, stereotypes while not considering the customer at all. One of the chapters is time management is a waste of time. And so that's another procrastination or avoidance is one of the most common mistakes in sales. Prospecting is one of the least favorite things that salespeople don't want to do. But if you do the opposite of what we're telling you to do in the book, set aside some specific time for prospecting, have your contact information and everything in front of you. If you do the opposite of what we're telling you to do, time activate and do your prospecting, 2 hours a day, let's say, you'll achieve your goals.
Also in the book, you talk about the expert trap. What is worse, the rookie who doesn't know the rules or the expert who feels he doesn't need to abide by the rules anymore?
So there's a chapter called If It Ain't Broke, Don't Fix It. And, right now, I think that's really relevant with AI, that the sales folks need to get on board. These experts, as you say, or mentors, some of them just don't want to adapt to new technology. So those are the things that a new person might have over a so-called expert.
Your co-author learned a lot about humor and about timing. How does that apply to sales?
It's very important to understand human behavior and strategies and mindset and attitude. Everything that we both learned in our careers, we poured into the book. If you learn to follow the advice found in those, 37 chapters, you'll be terrible at your job. That's why you need to do the opposite of everything in order to find success.
You have been in many management situations where there were issues with people, between managers and people. What have you learned in those big organizations? What to do wrong to antagonize your team?
Just act like you know better than anyone else. Don't listen to what anyone has to say. Keep things to yourself. Don't share information. Team building and all those things are critical. I've seen bosses with bad tempers or, they'll come in late, but they'll tell you that you need to be on time. They're watching you as a manager, so you need to be a good example.
You have earned a reputation for being very generous with your time, and you showed your humanity and vulnerability as a leader. How can leaders replicate that?
Sales can be very stressful if you can take a step back, laugh at the situation. And as one of my mentors said, don't take yourself too serious, but take your job serious. So that's always been a good one that I've been able to do with teams, and have been able to keep relationships going long after people that I've worked with have left the company or I've left the company.
When did the book come out?
It came out in November, and there's a bonus quiz in the back. If you do great in the quiz, that's not good. That means you're the worst salesperson.
I recommend that anybody who is listening go to Amazon.com and get your copy, your Failure Bible for Sales.
Thanks, Gerhard. I appreciate you having us on, and all the best.